Hello guys and gals, it's Soulfax here and you're watching another War Thunder video, a celebratory video of sorts. Why are we celebrating and why am I so hyped? Well, I finally decided to start making War Thunder videos again and generally YouTube videos. I will be expanding my channel onto different video games, but I will be also continuing my usual War Thunder content. Okay, I kind of brain farted there for a second and forgot what I was talking about. But anyhow, I plan on releasing a schedule for my videos in the next video that I do. I plan on releasing at least 3 videos per week, not counting the weekends. That would be 1 video every 2 days. And yes, I'm aware I said weekends. That doesn't mean anything because that's a word. Anyhow, let's talk about this video. In the past, I have been very critical of Gaijin, and some of you do know this to be a fact. Some of the things that I've been very critical of, and I actually dedicated whole videos to complaining about, were the last man standing feature, the med packs that were proposed around, I think, 1.53 or even 1.49 update. Not really sure anymore, these updates are coming on very quickly. And last but not least, I was extremely critical of the whole Tupolefor incident and the aftermath following it. But this time, I'm not being critical of Gaijin, I'm actually going to praise them because what they did with this new spawning mechanics in ground forces is pretty much amazing and I absolutely love it. If you don't know what I'm talking about and are thinking to yourself that I must be held at gunpoint by a Gaijin employee to finally say something positive about Gaijin, well, they kind of made something that a lot of people have been asking for quite some time now. They did ground forces enduring confrontation, but not in the way that we thought they were going to do it. What Gaijin did is they took an event, placed it on Stalingrad, and on one map before that I really can't remember which it was because I didn't play it, but anyhow, they took 2 vehicle lineups, 2 historic vehicle lineups, and then they made the players that joined this lineup get assigned 3 random vehicles from that lineup, from which they can spawn as many tanks as they want to until the match is over. Basically, what they did is they managed to sort of faithfully recreate a battle in World War II, a tank versus tank battle in World War II. And that is what we've always fucking wanted. That is so amazing. This event is so much freaking fun, even when you get crappy tanks like T-70s and T-60s for the Russians, and when you get those Panzerjägers T-30 38s, yes I think 38Ts and stuff like that. It's so awesome still because it presents such a level of immersion where you have the first initial wave of tanks spawning in and rushing to cap points, and then subsequent waves of tanks just getting there and reinforcing and trying to recap the capture points and just wreaking havoc all around because you have an infinite amount of tanks in this time period where you need to win the match. It's just so freaking awesome, I love it! Yes, I'm actually gushing from excitement over a game mode. This game mode is the most fun I've had with War Thunder. Well, since I've started playing War Thunder, this is, I think, the closest we're going to get to a real-life recreation, a real-life fun recreation of a tank versus tank battle that took place in World War II. When you just think about it, this whole scenario is so simple, but it's so effective. Each player can spawn an unlimited amount of tank, but nobody knows what tanks are going to be assigned at the beginning of the match. And if you suck in one tank, you can get the second tank, and if you suck in the second tank, roughly around the middle point of the match, you will get a third tank to choose from. So however you look at it, you can't suck in 3 tanks at the same time. You can dislike all of the 3 tanks that you get, but you can't suck in all of them. And even if you suck, there's 16 other players who get an infinite amount of tanks who can just win the match for you. It is such a great game mode because it presents such a challenge to newer players, and it presents such an amazing opportunity to grind so many freaking research points that it's just, it's what I've always wanted from this game, and I didn't even know it, and that's what makes this whole game mode so fucking brilliant. Gaijin, I really have to give it to you because this is the best thing that you've ever done in this game and for the community. This is the best game mode in War Thunder by far. Okay, I got control of myself. Now that I'm done being a Gaijin fanboy, let's talk about some gripes that I have with this game mode, and let me just level some suggestions to Gaijin, because even though this is a very good game mode, there's still a lot of places where it can be improved, and still a lot of room for some amazing features to be added to it. So firstly, the vehicle lineups. I don't want to talk about balance because this vehicle lineup in the Stalingrad match is historical one, so you can't do much about balance there. other than tweaking the numbers, but let's just not focus on that for the moment. The vehicle lineups need to be transparent because at the moment there is no way of knowing which vehicles you can be assigned to at the beginning of the match, and that really needs to be fixed, but that is an easy fix, so I'm hoping that Gaijin will do that for the next event. Secondly, the objectives that we currently have are too easy to accomplish. It takes only a couple of minutes if you hold all the 3 objectives on Stalingrad to win the match, which means that you can only spawn, I would say, roughly 3 to 4 tanks, and when you compare this to Air Force's Enduring Confrontation, where you can spawn dozens of aircrafts if you so wish before the match ends, well, you get my point. If we could have a little bit more time with some different objectives, that would be great. Another thing to be considered is possibly adding some sort of front line to ground forces during confrontation, similar to how we have in Air Force during confrontation. Naturally, it would work a lot different in ground forces because, well, most maps are just too small to have this kind of setup, and you would need to have a lot of these small capture points or points that you need to destroy in order to move up your front line, because otherwise the matches would end prematurely and a lot quicker than they end currently. It's not an easy thing to pull off, I think, for Gaijin, but if they manage to pull this off correctly and add some bigger maps that this could work on, or just limit this thing on big maps we currently have in the game, it could make for some amazing gameplay. The last suggestion I want to make is allowing players that are struggling in a certain match the option of reshuffling the tanks that have been assigned to them. Because you're going to have times where you get just poor tanks, and you might not be able to play those tanks very well, and you also might have times where you get tanks that you haven't researched properly, which means that you're sometimes going to be in a very poor position to actually earn some money, and because you need to pay for tanks up front, you're probably going to end up losing a lot of money in high tier games. This option shouldn't be given to players that are just joining the match and just simply dislike the lineup that has been assigned to them, because that would be kind of cheating. You first need to try and play with those tanks to see if you're any good in them, and then you can only get the re-signing of the lineups, whatever you want to call it. I would say if you die 2 times in a row without getting a kill, that is an indication that something isn't going very well for you and that you should maybe be given the option of trying to reshuffle the tank that you've been given. That's all that I can think of currently, and I know that a lot of people have other very good suggestions, and if you want to be heard, you must go on the official forums and post about it, because I think that a lot of people share my opinion when I say that this is a very good game mode, and if we want this game mode to stay and start improving, we need to make it abundantly clear to Gaijin that we really do like this game mode, and the only way to do that is to reach out to them on their official forums and on their official sites. So if you have a good suggestions, or if you just want to give props to Gaijin, tweet at them, post on the official forums or on official Reddit, because this is an improvement. This thing might mark the point at which Gaijin decide to invest some actual time and resources into making ground forces what it can be. The best tank simulator battle, the best tank game in the world. Yeah. But anyway, that's been it for me. My name has been Soulfax. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Bye bye!